Hello, welcome to News Center. I'm Parikshit Luthra. Today is World EV Day. Electric vehicles are starting to go mainstream. 20% of vehicles sold in 2023 were electric vehicles. This is a rise of 35% compared to 2022 and a six-fold increase compared to where the market was in 2018. But the EV revolution is not happening at the same pace everywhere in the world. 95% of electric vehicles sold are concentrated only in China, US and Europe. In India, more than 1.6 million EVs were sold in FY24, which is an increase of 41% compared to the year before, but sales seem to have slowed in the month of August, declining by about 10%. What is the road ahead for EVs in India? Joining us right now is Mahesh Babu, CEO at Switch Mobility, and Suman Mishra, CEO at Mahindra Last Mile Mobility. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us on the program. Suman, if I were to ask you, today you made an announcement naming a four-wheeler that will be launched by Mahindra Last Mile Mobility. Give us a sense of how the company is looking to diversify and grow its market share across segments.
Thank you, Parikshit. It's great to be here. Yes, we today announced the name reveal of eZeo. This is our forthcoming electric SCV, small commercial vehicle in the four-wheeler space. As you know, we are playing across everything less than 2 tons in the last mile mobility. So this kind of cargo transportation vehicle would be extremely important if we were to be on a mission of electrifying the last mile of the country. So this was one of the programs that has been underway, and we are very pleased to reveal the name today. I think more will come up, and we are very optimistic that just as the three-wheeler segment has electrified considerably over the last 3 years, the four-wheeler commercial vehicle segment will also start seeing the electrification as more and more players come into the market with very competitive offerings. So we are very excited about this space, and I welcome you to the launch, which will be coming up very shortly.
Great to hear that. Mr. Babu, I would like to ask you about the growth that you have seen in the electric bus segment. Now, this has been a priority area, but slow to take off. What is the year-on-year growth that you're expecting in FY25 compared to fiscal year 24?
Thank you, Parikshit. First, I want to wish all your viewers a happy World EV Day. I think in the bus segment, as you rightly said, there is a lot of focus from the government, state transport undertaking, and there are many models launched by OEMs. So, we have about 3,700 electric buses registered last year. We are expecting it to be doubled. And I'm happy to say that as Switch Mobility, we have more than 1,500 orders, confirmed orders in hand, which we'll be supplying in next 12 to 18 months. So you can also see there are a lot of tenders floating around. We see about 6,000 plus e-bus tenders right now in the market. So that clearly says that the focus is on e-buses, and it's also a government can play a role. We have already seen a PM e-bus Seva where there is a payment security mechanism being worked out by government, which is the ask by the industry. I think all the things put together, I don't see that anything less than double the market happening this year.
All right, nothing less than doubling of the market. Good to hear that. If I were to come to you, Suman, right now, we have an EMPS scheme going, which ends in September. Today, H.D. Kumaraswamy said on record that, yes, the EMPS scheme will be extended. While this does give some relief to the industry, one also waits and see to what happens to the FAME 3 scheme. Were there any kind of hurdles that companies like yours had faced with the FAME 2 scheme, which you're hoping will get ironed out now?
So for us in the three-wheeler category, the EMPS scheme is a more streamlined version of the FAME 2 schemes. Whatever challenges that were there in the FAME 2 in terms of documentation or process related have already been smoothened out in the EMPS scheme. So what we hope is the learnings that have come over the last several months, these are translated into the FAME 3 scheme. So for us, the EMPS is should hopefully just have a smooth transition into FAME 3. The only type of hurdle we had experienced is when there was a cutoff between the FAME 2 to EMPS. And all those things we have been assured that as and when FAME 3 comes, those issues will be taken care of. So really not anything significant apart from documentation and process-related matters which have been taken into account. So as it stands, if the EMPS gets extended until the FAME 3 comes, this would be a huge relief to this category, especially in the last mile segment, like, 2 and 3 wheelers. These customers do not have the wealth or the socioeconomic status to afford the upfront price parity. But I'm happy to tell you that in the L5 category, India, we have reached 20% levels of electrification, which is really the highest in India in any category so far. And this is the customer who is coming from the really backward socioeconomic class. So this scheme, EMPS scheme, is actually helping this kind of customer to really avail the best in technology and see a significant cost of living improvement. So we just hope that this EMPS scheme continues
Right.
and is grandfathered into the FAME 3 schemes.
All right. So you are hoping for policy continuity. Mr. Babu, do you also believe that there was some disruption for the electric bus segment as a result of FAME 2 coming to an end? Having a temporary EMPS scheme which did not support buses, now all eyes on the FAME 3. Any hopes and expectations from FAME 3 and any disruptions that you have faced in the meanwhile?
So, Parikshit, bus segment has come out of FAME even in the second CESL tender. So, bus is not much affected. But what LCV, Switch IEV 3 and 4, what we have launched, we have started delivering in April, had an impact because the FAME 2 had a four-wheeler commercial vehicle covered, and the short-term, what has been announced by the government was not covering it. Having said that, one day subsidies are going to go away. It's not going to be the continuous one. So I'm happy to say even after without subsidy, our four-wheeler, both IEV3 and IEV4 have a very good reception in the market. More than 300 plus vehicles are on the road. Customers are able to see the benefit of economy due to electric vehicle in the four-wheeler segment. The only thing is these products are going to the last mile and mid-mile consumers or the drivers who are at the bottom of the pyramid. And I want to just highlight to the government, the incentive is given to the customers, not to the OEMs. And hence the procedures, the policies needs to be oriented towards benefiting customers, not OEMs. OEM is only a media by which we are passing on the benefit to the customers. So anything which is simplified, procedural thing for OEM to get the best to the customers will be very much welcome.
Right. Do you also hope, Mr. Babu, that more vehicle segments will be covered under FAME 3, even within the last mile mobility segment, not just E3-wheelers and E3-wheeler cargo, but more small trucks for that matter? We were also hearing that the government will include electric ambulances, electric police vans as well.
There are a lot of talks around N category, which is the last mile and mid mile below 7.5 ton. Which comes under the last mile and mid-mile mobility. But right now, there are many recommendations, but final decision is yet to be known. We wish that FAME 3 will cover what was covered in FAME 2. And also, there is a request to from the industry to look at the truck segment, because truck segment is the one which consumes a lot of diesel and which is an import substitution. So we have been talking about not just look at the last mile and mid-mile connectivity, look at the trucking segment as a whole, which may be small intercity connectivity trucks, where it plays an important role. With Scope 3 and everybody committing to carbon neutral and zero emissions, government has to look at how to give or benefit adoption where the segments have not reached up to 10%. I think the most important first 10% adoption in EV is very, very critical in a particular segment, and then it takes on by itself. So since these segments, including buses, are about 3.5%, now goods four-wheeler is less than 1%, and in fact, trucks, it's very negligible. So government has to look at how to incentivize consumers to adapt to such technologies which will benefit them on long term till a 10% adoption. will really help to speeden up the electrification in the individual segments.
Right. Suman Mishra, my final question to you. We also have been seeing reports globally how in certain countries where subsidies were tapered down or removed, there's been a drop in sales. In Delhi as well, the moment you removed road tax waiver, we have seen a dip in sales. Maybe it's only temporary, but it is definitely there. Is that your worry as well, that maybe in 2 years or 3 years, if these subsidies stop, we could see some impact on sales? And in electric three-wheelers, by when do you expect the industry to make a complete transition?
Right. So since I said in the L5 category, we are around 20%, maybe we will reach 50% electrification maybe by the 2027-28 mark, and hopefully near complete by 2030. The subsidy is really benefiting the upfront cost, right? The upfront cost cap, because from a total cost of ownership perspective, the customer sees the value, but because he doesn't have access to finance, he is unable to take that higher amount of loan. So the suggestion is, yes, the FAME subsidy should finish in a couple of years, but we do have the PLI, which will allow us to get the scale benefits. So two things that will allow us to ensure that the transition is near final is availability of low-cost financing, especially for this weaker socioeconomic class, perhaps by adding this category into priority sector lending. That is one, and also welcoming more banks to play in this space. That is number one. The number two is with the PLI, because we are doing so much investment at scale manufacturing, it should give us the type of operating efficiencies which will allow us to bring down the costs over, like, as we reach some kind of high threshold volumes. So when we are playing, let's say, a couple of years down the line, when I see that the volumes will be, let's say we are at 50% electrification, and the size is adequate to give us the operating efficiencies that everyone needs to bring the price down. And if the financing problem is solved by then it should not result in a dip. But that is the real reason why we are requesting that there be policy continuity and not some sudden cutoff. Because today, I do not know if this kind of amount can be absorbed by either the OEM or the customer. So if you give us some time to transition and reach the scale, it should work out.
All right. So you need scale, and you also need financial, basically credit availability from banks as well. Until the time you reach there, incentives should continue. Hopefully the government is listening. Let's see what happens with FAME 3 in the days to come. Mr. Babu and Ms. Suman Mishra, thank you very much for joining us on the program on World EV Day with very crucial views. We're taking a short break here on News Center, but don't go anywhere. We will discuss India's semiconductor landscape and its roadmap with Ashok Chandak, President of Indian Electronics and Semiconductor Association, on the other side.